We are back in Georgia and we are looking forward to explore the country. We are fighting against the wind today.
In Rustavi, we just stopped to eat something and we just took the border from Armenia back into Georgia. There was a lot of police and military, but it was an easy border. There was only one office at Armenian side and one office at Georgian side, and they only checked the documents. They didn't do a luggage control.
No.
So
Everything was really easy.
yeah, it took us I think half an hour. Yeah, it was very easy. But
the speeding tickets we got, it was real. So now they showed us on the computer screen and we had the ticket.
Because I think you remember this little paper. Well, it's true. We got another paper. We got this blue paper. And with this paper we need to go to a bank in Georgia and we have to pay the speed ticket. We are back in Georgia and we are really looking forward to do some exploring here.
Rustavi is the third biggest city in Georgia and looks like a classic old Soviet city. We want to go to the David Goreji monastery and found this small off-road track on the map. But then we saw this sign.
We were driving a very beautiful route towards the David Goreji monastery, but suddenly we saw this sign and we are very close to the border with Azerbaijan. So unfortunately I think it's best that we just return and find another route. It's such a shame because it's so beautiful here. The road was also very, very beautiful, but yeah, I think it's best to go back.
Okay, so back to the big road. But first we have to take a picture with this impressive bull statue.
Okay. We decided not to go to the monastery, but instead we went directly to the city below. It's too difficult to pronounce because here we can ask our permits.
It's a border permit and you can ask it here in the city and then it should allow you to go near the border. And there are some checkpoints, so it's necessary.
Yeah. And we also have very good news because 2 days ago we went back to Yerevan to pick up our Russian transit visa and we got it.
And we asked for 5 days and they gave 8 days.
Yeah, we got 8 days.
So no hurry.
Yeah, it's really good. We had to be there at 3 o'clock. We had to wait some time in a very hot greenhouse. Yeah. It was so hot at the moment in Yerevan, but yeah, we are very happy. We got our transit visa. We got a lot of time that we are not going to use, but we can move on to Russia and Kazakhstan.
We found this camping spot on Overlander. It's really nice here. It's a picnic area in the forest with covered benches. The next morning we first went to the nature reserve office because we want to do a tour in Vasjlovani National Park. But some routes are forbidden for bikes and you need a permit. We wanted to ride that, but it turned out that this was not allowed, so we only rode a small piece. Normally we had to arrange the permit in Tbilisi, but the border police can also give a permit. Vasjlovani National Park is really beautiful. Nature changes a lot. The road is very nice with challenging parts. Sometimes it's rocky or sandy, but most of the time it's good gravel. But don't come here when it rains, because then it's muddy and very slippery. This time was not the only time I fell. A few moments later I fell again because I didn't see a water trench. We fell pretty bad. Benny has some damage. The steering wheel is bended and there is a dent in the fuel tank. I have some bruises, but nothing too bad. We got stopped by the border police to check our permit. He was very friendly and gave us a permit so we could continue riding. And while we were waiting for the permit, we got coffee and cold water. We got to a difficult part. It was really slippery over here and we couldn't pass, so we had to find an alternative. We couldn't avoid this puddle, so Roy went first to check. Don't hesitate, he said, so I didn't. But now everything is covered with mud. We met a couple with their car stuck in the mud. We tried to push the car, but it didn't move. So we agreed that we would go to the police to give the coordinates so that the rescue team can find them.
Problem number 22. Roy has a flat tire. Well, we replaced the tire. Now we are going to the police station to inform them about the two Germans. And then, I don't know. We will see. We are pretty tired. It was an exhausting day. Yeah.
Long day, difficult terrain. Beautiful, but difficult.
Yeah, very difficult. And I'm in a bit of a pain, so yeah, let's see what the evening brings.
Half an hour later, we finally reached a town where we went to the police. The police had contact with the rescue team and they saved the couple later that evening. It was already getting late when we left the police office. We rode to Adapno. The temperature dropped and we were so happy when we finally arrived at the Oasis Club. We treated ourselves with a hot dinner and the morning after we ordered a delicious breakfast. The road towards the monastery is very nice. There are beautiful rainbow mountains. The complex of David Goreji is located on Azerbaijan-Georgian border. The monastery is a popular destination for tourists and pilgrims. Today we have a rest day, so it's time to switch the tires after 10,000 kilometers. Luckily we have some help. And for dinner we have noodles.
So as you can see, we are not in our tent. We had to change our plans a little bit. Roy changed the plans because I'm not so good in changing plans. We wanted to do the Abano Pass and drive to Omalo. But the weather forecast for the next few days is terrible. It's going to rain a lot.
And the pass is pretty high and a lot of off-road, so it's not the best idea to do that in rain. So
Roy suggested to come to Tbilisi for a few days.
So we booked the Airbnb for 2 nights, and yesterday we had already a nice evening in the city. So
yeah. And coming to Tbilisi was maybe not such a bad idea, because we also had to arrange some things for the bunnies.
and for my bike we got oil.
Yeah. And for Benny we have this. And do you know what this is? Let me show you. 2 days ago, Roy discovered that the rubber here got loose.
So yeah, the rubber bushing in the attachment of the shock was worn out. We already changed it just before we left, but yeah, maybe not the correct rubber, or I don't know. But yeah, then to find a rubber bushing here, it's a big problem. So
yeah, and especially because this is Royal Enfield, and Royal Enfield is pretty unknown here. So yeah, it was a bit of a search.
Yeah. So yeah, we started already contacting people in Belgium to maybe send something.
Not so easy as you think it would be.
And it's quite expensive to send something to Georgia or Kazakhstan or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was searching the internet, and then I came across the shock from a suspension expert. But he was like, yeah, no, we these kinds of rubbers we don't have. And then I started talking about making something to replace the rubber, and he was like, yeah, maybe this guy. So he started like calling everyone, and then he find a guy that he knows that has a machine to make this.
He replaced the plastic. He put in this plastic tube, and we got 2 extra.
So now we have 2 spares. So hopefully
it will last.
It will last.
And we forgot to say that Benny has a new headlight. The previous headlight couldn't be fixed after all, so we had to buy a new one. But this is the same headlight as the Lada Niva cars, so it's pretty funny. But I think it looks very good on him. What do you think?
Okay, but time to explore Tbilisi, the capital of Georgia. But first things first, we have a speeding ticket that needs to be paid. We went to a bank. The ticket needs to be paid in cash at the machine. It's very complex because you can only pay the ticket if you have a Georgian phone number. It took a while, but in the end we managed to pay. Tbilisi is a modern and very nice city. There is a lot to see and to do. There is also a lot of history to be found, and the buildings are impressive. We definitely enjoyed the Georgian kitchen and wine. But all good things have to end, and it's time to say goodbye to the city. But we are really looking forward to do some off-road. Thank you for watching our video. It would be very nice if you would like this video and subscribe to our channel.